Hey, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and the Outlaws of Thunder Junction is starting to come out, and we're starting to see some of the spoilers. And this is the first legend that caught my eye. Ghired, Mirror of the Wilds, red, green, and white for a 3/3 human shaman with haste. That has one of the more interesting abilities I think I've seen for a long time. Non-token creatures you control have tap. Create a token as a copy of target token you control that enters the battlefield this turn. Right, okay, so your creature permanents can then copy tokens that you've made or created that turn. Yeah, okay then. This is good. I think it's going to be one of the, I have a whole thing about Naya. I love Naya as a colour pairing. Obviously, last set had Voja, but this one has really caught my eyes. And this is how I've decided to start this deck off. Now, as usual with these decks, obviously it's not available on MTGO yet. So I am using MTG Goldfish. I'll just plug them. I'm not sponsored by them, but I'll plug them. I'm using their website to do the deck lists on, and so the cards are going to look a bit funnier than they usually do, so bear with me, but we'll go through it. And this is how I'm starting off with my version of Ghired, Mirror of the Wilds, when it becomes available on MTGO. So here we go. Just before we start, I am trying something different. I'm going to leave Ghired up in the top left corner above me here. I'm going to be here, and the deck's going to appear over that side. You can't see me pointing my finger, so hopefully this makes a little bit more sense, so you can always refer back to Ghired instead of me jumping through it. So anyway, I decided to go down. We need lots of cheap creatures. We needed ways to give them haste so that the tokens that other creatures would produce could then be copied and give us even more of them. So that's why we've got quite a lot of 1-drops in this deck for a change. So Avacyn's Pilgrims here, Birds of Paradise, the Delighted Halfling. Delighted Halfling I'm getting more impressed with. Yes, it's only colourless unless you're casting a legendary spell, but it does give you that extra colour you may be missing, especially something for like Ghired, where you can probably get Ghired out on turn 2 if you get this in play early enough. I mean, you can do that with any of them, but yeah, just pointing it out. Anyway, from the Elvish Mystic is here, Ramp. Fanatical Firebrand, just because it has haste itself, so we don't need to worry about trying to get this haste, so we can play this copy of token because we have the haste, which is great once Ghired's in play. The Elves, another Elves, just to help us out. Final Gilded Goose makes an appearance. Upside is we can create some food if we're getting a little bit behind, so that does help. I'm playing around with Magus of the Vineyard in here just for a little bit of fun. It's a 1-drop, but it does give us some mana which could help later in the game. You'll see why when we get to the rest of the creatures. Voldarian Epicure, I just quite like this. Blood token of damage to each opponent. That's fine. And the Yellow Doors blocker. Dockside Extortionist, yep, as red in the deck, we need treasures. Don't forget it produces tokens. We can copy the tokens. If we've managed to give the Dockside haste by one of the global effects that's coming up, we can then tap the Dockside to create another treasure token. Not the end of the world. Emeria is quite fun in this deck, I think. We can get it into play, tap it to copy a token that's coming to play, and it also produces another soldier, produces another token we can copy if we need to. So yeah, but you're obviously going to be copying the bigger things. Gala Greeters is just here to give us a little bit more of the ramp side of things. Whoops, hold on, there we go. +1/+1 counters the treasure token or a couple of life we need it. Lotus Cobra, because we want mana. We need mana for this deck just to make sure we can cast some of the stuff we have coming up. Again, I'm playing around one of the other Maguses. Magus of the Library. It ramps, which is fine. 2 mana for a thing that produces colourless mana. Maybe not great, but it does ramp. But if we've got exactly 7 cards in our hand, we can draw that extra card. Doesn't seem much play, but I thought it's worth trying out in this deck. Paradise Druid is here to give us more mana if we need it. Also, it's a nice cheap creature we can tap to copy things. Same with Prosperous Innkeeper. We get a little bit of life, a treasure token. Produces a treasure token comes into play, so we can tap it and then create another one if we need to. Ruby has haste, and I quite like Ruby. This card is definitely growing on me from Wilds of Eldraine. Moving down. Silvered Caryatid. Where are we? There we go. Does the whole hexproof and mana ramp thing. Wily Goblin gives us a treasure, has something else we can copy. And then we're into the 3-drops where things get a little bit more complicated. Of course, with Crewfix, because we want to play lands and gain a little bit of life, that's fine. Ferocious Pup gives us a 2/2 wolf when it comes into play, which we can then hopefully copy with the Ferocious Pup, assuming we've got haste somehow. Hazion, Shaper of the Sands, coming back in, has Desert Walk. I think there's going to be a few deserts kicking around with the new set coming in. Obviously, we have got new desert lands, they're appearing. and we can play them from our graveyard. So we've got a few deserts in the deck, and whenever a desert enters the battlefield under control, we get a couple of 1/1 red, green and white Sand Warrior tokens. Unlike the other version that has it on, these don't disappear when he dies, so you get to keep the tokens, so that's pretty cool. Jeweled Thief, just a Vigilance Trample guy who gives us a treasure token which we can copy. Prava of the Steel Legion chucks out tokens, we've got no other way of doing it, for 4 mana, but make sure all our creature tokens get +1/+4. Tireless Tracker appears, so we can do the investigate side of things, another token we could copy, and then the creatures that start really producing tokens that we're interested in. Beetleback Chief, a couple of goblins when it comes into play. Colossal Rattleworm isn't one of them, it's just here because it's one of the new cards from the new set, and it has flash as long as we control a desert, and it's a 6/5 for 4 mana with trample. Yeah. Okay then. Emiria Angel, we do the landfall tricks, get some birds we can copy. Huntmaster of the Fells does either the trance can come into play and gives us our wolf token. Flip it, we get to do the damage. Flip it back again, we get the wolf token, so on and so forth. Just hopefully a little bit more generation of tokens. The new version of Savala Eagle Trailblazer is also here. This will be coming up at some stage in the future as another creature to look at. But this one's nice because whenever we cast a creature spell, we get a 1/1 red mercenary creature token with tap it. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. But then we can choose a colour and add 1 mana of the colour for each different power among creatures you control. Big ramp, good card. Gonna see a lot of play, one feels. Trove Warden, it just gets us things back that have been exiled, killed off at some stage. We can exile them when this comes in play off the landfall triggers, and then when this dies, we get them all back into play. The original version of Geyadrone is also here, the Conclave Exile, mainly because we get a 4/4 Rhino that's a really good target to copy, and we can populate when Geyadrone attacks. So, you know, the token enters tapped and attacking, which we can't complain about too much. Marja Bretonnian Protector also appears. Other creatures we control get a little bit of an anthem effect, and landfall gives us a 1/1 human warrior. Seedborn Muse is here to make sure we can untap everything in case we find a way of doing instant tokens. Don't think I have, but yeah, it's nice having Seedborn around anyway, just to make sure we have everything back as blocking. For being Boss's Confident has actually made it on MTGO now, hence why it's here. The upside to this is it gives all our creature tokens haste. And at the beginning of combat in our turn, each player reveals the top card of their library. For each land card revealed this way, create a 1/1 excuse me, green and white citizen token. Then creatures control get +1/+1 until the end of turn for each non-land card revealed this way. Then each player draws a card. Oh, okay then. Rampaging Battleths, you know, we're playing kind of semi-landfall deck. This gives us the beast tokens we need. Tolva's Huntmaster comes into play with a couple of wolves, which is fine by me. And then when we get it to flip, when we get to Nightbound, hopefully we can do the whole create another couple of 2/2 green and wolf creature tokens when we attack. And then if we need to, we can get them to fight. That's fine. I am playing landfall, so Avenger of Zendikar is here. You know, the plant tokens may not be the greatest thing in the world to copy, but hey, you know, you get a few in, could be worth it. Omnath obviously takes a place in the deck as well. Get those nice big elementals when Omnath comes into play. When you drop a land, and then when all the elementals die, you get to lightning bolt things. And then Titan of Industry to top off the mana curve for the creature side of things. 7 mana, 2 choice effects. You're probably going to be creating, well, you will create the green warrior, the green rhino warrior creature token. Sorry, that's a bit of a mouthful for me this morning. And probably blow up an artifact or an enchantment, because this is Commander after all, and there's always a soul ring, a signet, a talisman, or something or other. For the spells, I have included, I think, what's going to be one of the most talked about cards. Let's say that word, shall we? Talked about cards in the set in Final Showdown. With the Spree, yeah. 6 mana for an instant for Wrath of God. Okay. It's not too bad. It also gives you a way of making sure that you can make your stuff indestructible. Creature you control indestructible. Great if you're trying to protect Ghired, because you haven't got any other way of doing it. Farseek's here. Go and find some lands, along with Nature's Law, Rampant Growth, 3 visits. Former Posse comes in because this is a sorcery way of getting a whole load of mercenary creature tokens, which we can copy to our heart's desire and then attack with one very big creature, hopefully. Heroic Intervention keeps everything alive, along with Teferi's Protection. So, not many spells, but we have got a bit of ramp in the deck, so we're there. Artifact-wise, I am playing Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots, but I'm also playing the new one that's coming in with the set that comes in with the Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Lava Spur Boots. You're going to see a lot of this card going forward. 1 mana to cast it, 1 mana to equip it, gives the creature +1/+0, haste and ward 1. Now, ward 1 may not be the greatest thing ever, but, and I will put this as a but, it's a little bit cheaper than doing Swiftfoot Boots, so yeah, may see the boots disappear from decks as things go forward, but the boots does have hexproof, which is maybe better than a ward 1. I don't know, I'm at the spur. I mean, Lightning Greaves is Lightning Greaves. If you haven't got to equip your creature or enchant your creature, your commander, Lightning Greaves is still probably the better one of the 3, in my opinion. But the boots is not going to be far behind, and you know, both versions of boots are going to be fighting, I think, for places in my decks going forwards. One thing I did want to mention, however, the other artifact that's in the deck outside of Sol Ring Arcane Signets, we didn't go too heavy with this one, is Urabrask's Forge. This produces a token. And it doesn't say, as you can see on Jiro's thing, it says tap, create a token that's a copy of target token you control that enters the battlefield this turn. Yeah, put this on the stack, the token comes into play. You haven't declared your attackers yet, so you can copy it, I think. I may have this wrong, but I believe you can then copy the token for Urabrask's Forge with all your non-token creatures and have a whole load of them attacking with haste and trample. I think I've got it right. I think I've read it right. If I've read it wrong, let me know in the comments down below on the video. Thanks. But I have talked quite a bit about giving everything haste because we want to make sure everything can do the whole, when it comes into play, tap to copy a token that's come in as well. So Concordant Crossroads is here. On the fence about this one. I've put it in. It may be that you need to do it as an alpha strike and you can do it with Concordant Crossroads. But just remember, this is a world enchantment, so everybody's creatures get haste. So it's a bit on the edge. Intangible Virtue just pumps up all our creatures to make sure they have vigilance, or our token creatures, sorry, make sure they have vigilance. Fever, just a whole globe, well, not global, sorry, gives all our creatures haste. It's not a global effect, it's a personal effect. I don't know why I got tongue-tied there. Along with Fires of Yavimar and Hammer of Perforos and Rhythm of the Wild. They're all here. Rhythm of the Wild's slightly different because you can choose to do the +1/+1 counter if you want to, or you can just do the whole let's give them haste and have done with it. Obviously, Anointed Procession and Parallel Lives make an appearance in here because we want to make sure we get extra tokens as things come into play. I did think about doubling Season, but I thought, nope, leave it out for once in my life in a Naya deck. But Felidar Retreat is here. Landfall gives us a cat which we can copy with all our other creatures, so that's why it's here. I will just go through the lands very quickly just to point out a few things. I am going to be trying out these quite rapidly. I think these new deserts are going to be very, very good in limited, definitely. How they're going to do in Commander, I don't know. This may not be the right deck for them. I think there's a few combos I'm thinking about with other cards where they just come in, ping, do extra damage. But, you know, the odd 1 damage here and there may help. So we've got the Abraded buffs in here. We've got the Bristling Backwaters and the Creosote Heath are all here. They all do the same thing. They give us 2 of the colours we need and deal a damage to someone. Or you might have an opponent on 1 and play this and they die because they can't stop it. The rest of the lands is probably what you expect to see. I am playing one of each of the castles. Ardenvale, sorry, is here so we can get another token if we need it. Embereth to pump all our creatures up, and Garenbrig so we can cast the big things that I talked about earlier. You know, Titan of Industry, Omnath, Avenger, yeah, these ones here. Beyond that, Command Tower obviously makes an appearance. I've gone with Commercial Districts. I still do quite like these lands from MKM where they can do the surveilling thing. A few of the cycling desert lands are here as well, just so we can have a tiny bit of extra card draw. Jetmir's Garden, Jungle Shrine, Lush Portillo, so on and so forth. Obviously, Reliquary Tower here, and Temple of the False God, because it wouldn't be one of my videos unless I had these in. And that's it for our first card from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. I'm really getting very close to I'm getting closer to 500 during the course this year, but we're at 369 as I record this video today. So, you know, getting nearer to the 400. This, by the way, is my 500th video to go up on the YouTube channel. So I'm really pleased. I'm kicking it off with a new commander from the new set. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll be back very soon with something else from the Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.